samasta sukhino bhavantu loka 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 samasta sukhino bhavantu.
So we begin by holding hands with our client, looking into their eyes, the windows of the soul. It's really special when you hold hands with someone because these sensory inputs are carried to the heart of our being. So it's much different than, just talking to someone. When you take their hands and hold them in your hands, the hands are the most physical expression of the heart of who we are. We look into the eyes, the windows of the soul. We practice active listening because what we're doing here is we're holding a safe space and we're cultivating holding sacred space. Our work is unique because we have this evolutionary perspective in which we understand the client and respect the client as an evolving spiritual being. And we respect that everything that's going on for them is the unfolding of their evolutionary process. Look into their eyes, honor the divinity in your heart, say namaste, honor to the divine within, and you ask, how's your body?
My body is good. My body is awake. It feels awake. Feels like the session that I did helped me to come into a stronger sense of self.
Great, great. Yeah. So we're practicing active listening. Your body's good, your body's awake. That the session that we did before helped you to come into a stronger sense of yourself. Mm-hmm. Excellent. How are you doing emotionally?
Emotionally, I feel a little tired.
A little tired.
A little slowed down.
A little slowed down.
And a little bit expectant with my breath and my thoughts.
A little bit expectant with your breath and your thoughts about what is to come. Yes, yes. What's your intention for our work?
My intention is to regenerate all those good feelings from the last one and to continue to walk on the path of strength and awakening.
Yes, yes. So you want to continue to grow in those good feelings before and continue to walk on the path of strength. Yes. And awakening.
Yes.
Can you tell me about a time in your life where you were just in your peak and your energy and you're awake and strength and what that feels like in your body to be in that space?
Well, when I lived at Heartwood,
You lived at Heartwood.
I felt very much at home.
Felt very much at home.
That's a good feeling for me, feeling at home and feeling close to nature. And
What's that like in your body? Feeling at home, feeling light,
it feels safe, it
safe.
feels it feels promising.
Promising.
And yeah, it feels really loving.
Loving.
And
Great.
yeah.
Thank you. Would you lie on your back with your head towards the east? Polarity therapy is unique as a healing art for our intention to address the soul, the presence, the being in the body. So it's more important where you're at, how present you are, than where your hands are at. So we begin that process by grounding, by really centering and grounding. So you want to, first of all, just really send a grounding cord down from your tailbone into the earth and just really feel that connection to that molten core of our Mother Earth. Then you want to picture your legs like the roots of a tree, really rooting you into the earth. And just breathe from your belly down through your legs into the earth. Breathe up from the earth, down, breathing down through your legs, through your roots, deep into the earth, breathing up. Then you want to feel the breath of heaven in your very core, in your very center, radiating out as life force energy. You bring your hands into your heart for your compassionate intention, and we move it into the first of our cradles, the quiet heart cradle. In the quiet heart cradle, the right hand is on top of the left. These three fingers are crossing over at the foramen magnum. A foramen, hole, magnum, big, the big hole at the back of your head where the central nervous system moves from the brain down into the spine. So here we tilt the client's head a bit. We bring the hand in. Index finger parallels the carotid arteries. Thumbs are below the ears. Now when you do this, it's good to, okay. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
Yes. So we're always cultivating therapeutic presence. You always want to be as deeply present in your hands as possible. Your presence is the presence of the mystery, the presence of the life force, the presence of the soul. It is the self-organizing intelligence that's the definitive characteristic of life. Your presence is the healer. So you always are cultivating therapeutic presence, trying to be as deeply present as possible. So your energy, your awareness is always in your hands, to be in the presence of the life force. Now, we can enhance our sensitivity to life force energy by establishing a fulcrum in our hands. In a mandala, we have a center. In an energy field is a dynamic mandala of energy, and we call that dynamic, breathing, moving center a fulcrum. So through your intention and physically, you press your hands into the table for a moment to establish a fulcrum, a center, a base for the movement of that energy field. And this enables you to really center yourself in the field and really enhances your ability to feel the energy. So I said you want to be in the presence of the life force energy. You want to be feeling the pulse of the heartbeat in the tissue, the rhythms of the cycle of the breath in the tissue, the warmth, the heat, the energy of life, tingling, vibration. You might feel the fields dancing, big wide circles as the energy unwinds, or the rhythms of the fluid tide. So as we're deeply present in our hands, we want to begin with an invocation to higher intelligence, because one of the things we're doing as we cultivate and hold a sacred space is we want to cultivate safety. And we co-create safety and cultivate safety, first of all, by defining the situation as a safe space. And we do this, first of all, through a prayer in which we bring the client's intention into the prayer and into the definition of this as a safe space. May I do an invocation to higher intelligence?
Yes.
Beloved great mystery of life and consciousness, thank you for this gift of life. Thank you for hearing the prayers that are in Chela's heart for her wholeness, her well-being, for her intention to be energized, to feel good again, to feel connected. Bring her the insights, the guidance, the realizations, the grace that she needs to grow, to be whole, to be strong, to be at peace, for her highest good, for the highest good of all concerned. Chela, at any time, if anything that is happening here is too intense or in any way inappropriate for you, simply say, please stop. You're in control, and this is a safe space. Deep breaths. Deep breaths, deep in your belly. An energy worker is a breath coach, constantly inviting the client to breathe deeply, focusing on the out breath, focusing on the releasing breath. Deep breaths through your pelvis, down to your feet. And while she's doing this, I'm deeply present in my hands. So our first cradle is called the quiet heart cradle. The index fingers paralleling the carotid arteries are activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which moves the body into a profound state of relaxation. The practitioner is deeply present, their hands deeply present. Being in the presence of the life force. So we'll spend 2 or 3 minutes, or until we feel a shift in the energy into a more coherent space. So I'm here tracking what's called unwinding, which is this dance of the energy field, as the energy field self-organizes to create more coherence. So the energy field's taking the energy that's in the Sattvic contact of my hands, taking my presence. There's only one presence, one life. So the presence in my hands is the same presence that's in her life. And the two fields are creating more coherence, co-creating more coherence. And the more coherent, the more harmonious the field, the more it potentizes its relationship to the source. So by your being deeply present, you help tune the client's energy into its own deep presence. And as the fields become more coherent, they connect more with the source, which is omnipresent. And that only builds And again, the purpose of polarity therapy is to reconnect the field with the source. And again, the more coherent the field, the more deeply and the more healthfully it's connecting to the source. So that's what we're doing. We're co-creating that reconnection to the source. The energy of life is presence, cognizance, and the energy that we're using is therapeutic presence. So here we're holding this quiet heart cradle where the life force impulses moving from the brain down into the central nervous system are being purified and concentrated by the potency of the Sattvic energy in our hands and by the potency of our presence and our invitation to the client to be deeply present in the contact. When you feel the field coming into more coherence, or when you feel heat, which is the resistance in the field being released, you can gently remove your hands, shake them off to reestablish the integrity of your field. And we move to the second of our cradles, which is a quiet mind cradle. We're going to have the skull cradled here in the palm. The spine will be between the air and fire fingers. And then the right hand, the thumb, will be on the fontanelle, the crown chakra, right in the center of the skull. 2 fingers will be at the third eye, and the 2 outer fingers will be stabilizing that. So we tilt the head a little bit. We bring the right hand so that the air and fire fingers, the index and middle finger, on either side of the spine. The skull's cradled in the palm. The thumb comes right into the very center of the skull. The fire and water fingers are at the third eye. The index and middle finger, the middle and ring fingers are at the third eye. The other fingers stabilize that. And you as a practitioner are very, very present in your hands. Deep breath. Here again, you have the client's brain and central nervous system between your loving hands. The dance of life between your hands and the dance of presence as you focus your awareness. Presence is the organizing intelligence of the soul. Presence is the distinctive characteristic of life. The distinctive characteristic of the soul force is lucidity, presence, cognizance. So the more deeply present you are in your hands, the more profound the healing potency of reconnecting the field with the source. The sages call this presence the self. And what distinguishes polarity, and one of the things people find most profound about polarity, is this reconnection to themselves, feeling their self again, feeling connected to being, connected to life, connected to our inherent divinity. So we're very present in our hands, feeling the life force energy. Maybe we're feeling heat, which is the resistance in the field being released. It's likely that you'll feel some unwinding, a dance of energy. And then when you feel that unwinding, move into more coherence and integration. You can move into the next contact. But the important thing is not where your hands are at, but where you're at, that you're deeply, deeply present in your hands, in the presence of the life force, concentrating that life force. I'm feeling heat being released at the back of the skull and at the occiput. I'm feeling energy at the crown. Deep breath. The session that we're doing today is the Sattvic energy balancing session. Sattva means being, and Sattva is the force of equilibrium in nature. Energy always moves from the source out into the field, from Sattva to Rajas to Tamas, from the neutral source, the omnipresence of the One, to Rajas, creativity, fire, passion, self-expression, then to Tamas, the crystallization of energy into form. Sattva, being, is the source and the force of equilibrium. It self-corrects throughout the process. The Sattvic energy balancing session reconnects the client with being and creates a profound level of coherence in every atom of the client's body as a field of energy. So when we feel the field come into more coherence, or we intuitively feel a shift into more coherence, we gently, in this case, we're just going to remove the left hand, leave the right hand where it is, and we move into a cradle that's a gas release and very good for headaches. So here we're going to use the elbow as a fulcrum, and we bring the palm, the hand, over the forehead, but we're not actually touching the forehead, and we're very present in the hand. Dr. Stone says most headaches are digestive headaches caused by excess gas from the indigestion. And this is a contact, particularly if the client's sitting. It's very good for gas release and very good for just instantly healing a headache. You'll hold this contact while the client's sitting up, and they'll burp, and that excess gas will be released and the headache will go away. So I'm very present in my hands, feeling for the energy, feeling for heat to be released in the field, the resistance to be released, feeling for a dance of unwinding. When I intuitively feel more coherence in the field, I can gently remove my hands, shake my fingers towards the ground to reestablish the integrity of my own energy fields. And then I move to the client's right side to begin to balance fire. Fire is the vitality, the energy in the body that predominates in all of the red tissue and red organs. Fire is centered in the physical body, 2 finger widths below the navel. But there's a higher octave of fire, which is the fire of vision at the third eye. So here we're going to put the thumb of the left hand at the third eye, and the right thumb we're going to, in this case, we're going to spiral the whole hand into this dantian, into this fire center, 2 finger widths below the navel. So here you want to feel an elastic quality as spiraling the hand entrains the connective tissue sheath, and the connective tissue sheath envelops everything in the body. So when you spiral into the tissue like this, it entrains the connective tissue sheath, which means you're then at the very center of vitality, at the center of our vital body, the center of our energy body, and you're entraining the connective tissue sheath from that center. Here the left hand is on the third eye, and you're balancing 2 octaves of fire. So you're deeply present in your hands. It's a Sattvic contact. You don't really have to move. Just your presence is doing the work. Later, we'll be doing more Rajasic versions of this in the Rajasic session. But right now, I'm feeling a big spiraling, unwinding between the 2 fields. There's a big spiraling field dancing through the solar plexus. And now it's slowing down and becoming more and more centered. And now it's attuning to a more core energy. Now it's energy is dancing between the 2 fields. And I shake my hands off to reestablish the integrity of my field. At the feet, Dr. Stone really emphasizes the importance of working at the feet. The feet are the most negative field in the body, and energy tends to become stagnant at the feet and at the extremities. So here you want to stretch the feet, bring the ankles together. But before we do anything, you as a practitioner want to establish your fulcrums. You want to really feel your feet on the ground. Relax your knees so you have a springiness from your pelvis down to your feet so you're feeling resilient. Get really centered and grounded in your own pelvis. And we're making a contact just below and behind the malleola. The malleola is the bone in the ankle. Okay. So the malleola is the bone here at the ankle, and you want the contact just below and behind the malleola. That's called the flexor longus hallucis, or FLH. It's like the most negative reflex to the core energy of the body. And then on the front of the foot, we're making a contact at the anterior tibialis, which reflexes to the sternum and the heart. So we have 2 reflexes to the very core of the body that we're going to be stimulating at the negative pole. Again, energy tends to stagnate the negative pole. Here we're going to be stimulating reflexes to at the anterior tibialis, which reflects to the sternum, I am, and below and behind the malleola to the FLH, which reflexes to the very core of the body. So practitioners, feel your feet on the ground, send yourself low in your pelvis, be deeply present in your hands, and you begin to stimulate this field at both of these contacts on both of the feet. Stimulating for 20 or 30 seconds, and then you're deeply present in the contact. Again, your most powerful energy is your presence. Presence is the life force. Presence is the quality of the soul. The quality of the source is cognizance, lucidity, presence. Your most powerful energy is your presence. Deeply present in my fingertips at the point of contact. So it's not just that your hands are here, but you are making contact by being deeply present. So you're feeling for the life force energy. You're being in the presence of the life force energy is what makes this work so powerful. So we're doing 3 cycles of stimulating for about 20, 30 seconds. And then stillness and presence. And during the stillness, I'm deeply present, being in the presence of the life force, feeling the energy, the tingling, the heat, vibration, unwinding. And in each cycle, you want to have the client take a deep breath. Breathe deeply through your pelvis down to your heels. And one more cycle of stimulation. And then presence, deeply present in the contact, feeling for the life force energy. And even if it feels like you're not feeling anything, bringing your presence there is bringing your most powerful energy into the contact, into the field. So I'm feeling a big dance of energy, a real wide circle of energy between the 2 feet. And within that, a pulsing. So there's unwinding on a couple of levels. I'll just stay with it until the field becomes more coherent. Deep breath. Breathe down all the way through your pelvis, down to your feet. Just like the waves move through the ocean as the organizing force, the waves of the breath organize the energy in the body and carry the life force into the field. Feel more coherence. Take your hand, shake them off. Now we're going to be using conscious sound vibration to create a sound bath through chakra balancing. The chakras are the points where higher energy steps down into the physical body. Each of the chakras sustains one of the long currents of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So each one of these toes is a negative field of the long current emanating from the chakra, from the earth chakra, water chakra, fire chakra, air chakra, and the ether chakra. So we're going to be putting the appropriate fingers on the appropriate toes. Here, this is the most negative field of the long currents. The hands are neutral. Again, neutral means connected to the source. So we're taking the source energy and then bring it into the most negative field. And we're going to be using the bija mantra, the seeds of each of these chakras, each of these lokas, each of these planes of vibration. We're going to be using the keynotes of the harmonics of each of these planes of vibration in our chakra balancing to realign the chakras with their keynote. So earth is the keynote of vibration, water the keynote of life, fire the keynote of vitality, air the keynote of the nervous system, ether the keynote of the space that is the overall field of awareness that unites all beings and all life in this single unitary living organism, which we call the cosmos. So here, client and practitioners are going to tone together. The tone for the earth chakra is the tone lam, which you'll feel like you'll make resonate, lam, okay? The color is the color of the molten core of the earth. The center is at the tip of the tailbone. So the tip of the tailbone is an antenna to the molten core of the earth, which is the mother of the earth chakra, which picks up that vibration from the molten core and rules the earth keynote of vibration through the body. The tone here is lam, client practitioner together, toning together, tip of the tailbone, opening to the blessings of strength and perseverance of the mother. And the color is the color of molten lava, vermilion, the color of molten lava. Together, toning with the tone lam into the tailbone. Deep breath, breathing through the pelvis, down to the feet. The second chakra, the sacrum, sacral lumbar juncture, resonates with fire and resonates with the radiance from that molten core at the earth. The color is the color of fire, and the blessing is to accelerate your evolution into the light, and the tone is Vam. Moving up the musical scale. Deep breath. The third chakra is the solar plexus. The color is translucent light, the light of the soul force fills all space with the light of life. Its color is luster. You see this luster sometimes in a child or someone who's very healthy, who's just finished a Sattvic diet. You see their luster, this radiant, this translucent light of the soul, the light of life. So at the third chakra, the fire chakra, the color is luster, and this radiance of life force radiating through the body. So the tone is Ram, invoking the solar force. Deep breath. The heart chakra is a still point between the breath of heaven and the breath of earth. The color for the heart chakra is emerald, the color of the emerald earth, the color of the green goddess. And the quality of the heart chakra is serenity. This deep serenity is our essential nature. We're always blessed when we go into nature and we find how quickly we entrain with the energy of nature and feel a deep serenity and coming home and well-being. And that's because we are a part of nature, and the serenity is the truest part of our essential nature. So let's feel ourselves one with the green goddess, cells in the body of the green goddess, atoms in the body of eternity. The color is emerald, and our essential nature is deep, deep, deep inner peace. The tone is Lam, sung sweetly into the heart chakra, calling out to the mother in gratitude. Deep breath. Throat chakra, one with the ether element. Ether, like the sky, is energy without resistance, limitless energy. So like the sky is, what's the word I'm looking for right now? Energy without resistance. There's a word for that that's not coming to me at the moment. So with ether, just feel your oneness with everything, unlimited oneness without anything limiting it, just like the sky is limitless. So the quality of ether is freedom, and the freedom is molecular. So feel your oneness with the infinite sky, open to the blessings of this oneness. The tone is Ham, and the color is lapis, like the night sky filled with stars. Deep breath. Third eye, the color is amethyst. The blessing is self-realization. And the tone is ksham with a silent K. Ksham. Color is amethyst. Crown, blessing is liberation, and we fill the whole body with the sound of the life force, the sound of the pranav. Deep breath. It's really powerful to be healing with conscious sound vibration. Sound interacts with all of your energy bodies, with the Manamaya Kosha, the mental sheath, with the Pranamaya Kosha, the sheath of life force, with the Annamaya Kosha, the sheath of the physical body. Just each of the 5 sheaths of the body are energized by working with Bhakti Devi, the goddess of the voice and the powers of the holy word. Whenever it's appropriate, you take your fingers off, you shake them to the earth to release any negativity, reestablish the integrity of your energy field, and we're ready to move to the client's center for a 5-pointed star. Everything is made out of wholeness. And one of the places where wholeness manifests is, of course, the breath being a vehicle for life and the life field. And the breath has within it the dynamic to give birth to the 5 elements. So within every breath are ether, air, fire, water, earth, these 5 keynotes of physical manifestation. And the body is the embodiment of these 5 keynotes. We think of the 5, so we have what we call the 5-pointed star as the embodiment of the 5 elements of ether, air, fire, water, earth. So here we balance the 5-pointed star by making a contact here at the glenohumeral joint and at the opposite hip. Practitioner, you want to bend your knees and get low in your pelvis. We're here at the crest of the ilium and right at the joint. And we do a gentle rocking at the hip. The rocking's always at the negative field. So you rock for 20 or 30 seconds. And then you're deeply present in the stillness, feeling for a dance of energy between your 2 loving hands. Radiating your presence between your 2 loving hands. Enveloping all the organs between your 2 loving hands in this dance of energy. After 20 or 30 seconds of this radiance, you bring your lower hand to the opposite hip and thumb is on the crest of the ilium. Another gentle rocking for 20 or 30 seconds. Emphasis on rocking the hip. Stillness and presence, deeply present in your hands, feeling for a radiance of energy between your 2 hands. Deep breath. Head inclined, breathe through their pelvis, down to the heels. You move the upper hand to the glenohumeral joint, to the shoulder joint, and you rock the hips again. So the 5-pointed star is the crystallization of the breath as the mother of the 5 elements, as they're embodied in the body. Rocking, stillness and presence, deeply present in your hands, feeling a radiance of energy between your hands. And then the last contact in the 5-pointed star, the ether and air fingers are at the frame and magnum. The right hand is at the crest of the ilium, at the hip. You hold the contact at the frame and magnum, that big hole at the back of the head. The right hand at the hip. Client is breathing through their pelvis down to their heels. Deep breaths through the pelvis down to the heels. And whenever you intuitively feel a sense of completion, you can gently remove your hands. And we're back here at the client's head. You want to put down your fulcrums, feel your feet on the ground. Center yourself in your pelvis. Lengthen your spine. Send down your grounding cords. Center yourself in the core energy and your compassion. And now we're doing a contact where we balance the long currents, which we balance at the toes, here at the positive field. So the thumbs are on the crown chakra, the fingers are splayed across the forehead, pointed towards the toes. And you're deeply present in your fingertips, feeling for the life force energy. The distinctive quality of life is cognizance. Every living atom of creation is a field maintaining its homeostasis as a cybernetic mechanism. Every living field is a field of awareness. And that awareness, that lucidity, that presence, that cognizance allows it to self-correct and maintain the integrity of that field. So that atom as a field maintains its wholeness. And then it's nested within a molecule as a field, which again maintains its integrity, its wholeness. Nested within a cell, nested within tissue, organs, organisms, nested within nature, nested within the solar system, and nested in with totality. So there's an awareness which interpenetrates every element of this creation, from the quark to the galaxy. One awareness, one life. And that's the same presence that is the aliveness in you, this self-organizing intelligence. Sages of the East call it the self, because it's what's actually present, what actually sees, hears, loves, tastes, feels in your body is this cognizance. And it's the same cognizance that's in every atom of creation, and it's the same self that's in everyone and everything. So polarity therapy is unique as a healing art because we work with the self. We work directly with this essence of life force to reconnect the field with that, with being, with the mystery, with life itself. So here we're holding this contact, where we're aligning the 5 long line currents with the source. And once we feel a sense of balance there. Then we're going to ask the client if there's some place they'd like to send some healing life force energy in their body. Jayla, is there some place you'd like to send some energy?
In my jaw.
In your jaw, okay. So now we're going to take the tips of the thumbs and we're going to rest them at the opening of the ears. And we're going to be using the tone ah, which resonates with the heart and nervous system. And client practitioner, we're going to tone together. And we're going to picture this life force energy radiating from the nucleus of every atom of the body and enveloping the body in its essential oneness with life. So the quality of the Vishwanara, the soul of the universe, is this translucent light of life. So we want to feel this translucent light of life just enveloping the area that we're concerned with and showering it with the light of life and bring it back into attunement with its essential divinity. The tone here is ah, 3 times. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Now I'm deeply present, my thumbs, I'm feeling some unwinding, dancing between the 2 sides of the body. I should stay with this until it dances with a little more coherence. And I'm feeling some heaping release. There's really strong therapeutic pulse here. And our last contact is called the cradle of the sages of old. Our thumbs are at the jaw, water fingers at the lips, fire fingers at the base of the nose, air finger at the third eye, and thumbs at the crown. So our little fingers, earth fingers at the jaw, water fingers at the lips, fire fingers at the base of the nose, air fingers at the third eye, and thumbs are towards the crown. And we're deeply present in the contact. Deep breath, client, deep breath. Now, sometimes a client will appear to go to sleep during the session, and that's very normal. And they actually are using the coherence of the energy to move into Turiya, the 4th state of soul communion, a deeply, deeply healing state. So it's fine if the client, quote, goes to sleep. They're not really sleeping, they're out of their body doing a deep level of communion and healing. Once you feel a shift in the energy, intuitively feel more coherence, you can gently move your hands, shake them off. And now we're doing a very important contact. We're doing what we call the brushing off. But when the client's lying on the table, they're in one relationship to the energy field of nature and the cosmos. But when they sit up, can you roll onto your right side and sit up? When they sit up, they're in a much different relationship to the radiance of the soul force from the sun. and relationship to the energy field of the earth. So this is a unique moment in the energy balancing, and a uniquely powerful moment in which we get to take all the work we've done and bring the body into a higher octave of soul communion and healing. So you want to move far away from the body's field. You want to really feel their aura in your hands. Make a big, wide connection in their aura. Feel their field between your hands, gently moving down, crossing over at the neck, very present in your hands, very slowly moving down, crossing over the sacrum and brushing off. Again, moving in until you feel the buoyancy of the aura, very present in your hands, crossing over the neck as you caress their aura, blessing them, crossing over the sacrum, and then releasing and reestablishing the integrity of your field. Now, in the front of the body, your energy aligns in a way that you don't really need to cross over. So on the front of the body, you caress the aura, very present in your hands, feeling that field go all the way down to the earth. Do that a couple of times. Feel the aura in your hands. Move down all the way to the earth. And then we wake them up with a contact at the navel, the sacrum, deep breath, to the lips, shaking off. Deep breath, navel, very present in your hands, to the lips, shaking off. The client has been passive. You give them an opportunity to be active. May I have a hug? And then you're welcome to check in with the client, find out how they're feeling, how they experience the session. How are you?
Good, I'm very good. I feel awake.
Awake.
And lively. I feel alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for volunteering once again for one of my demos. Goddess bless. Well, my friends, thank you very much. I hope this helps clarify giving the Sattvic energy balancing polarity therapy session. Blessing. Om Namah Shivaya.
Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Sukhino